Welcome back, everybody. Stream number 2. I don't think for 1 second this is going to be any easier than the first one. Welcoming everybody that's arrived so far for TYU 3318. First in, Mike's with us, JM Thoughts is with us, Alejandro is with us, Cal is with us, and we'll get to Cal in a moment. GB, welcome in. We have got a lot to get through today. We're going to try and start our debut season in the Vanarama South. We need a NOM update, Cal. Things are a little bit tense on that front, if I'm completely honest with you, since he stabbed me in the back and moved to manage his own team in Slovenia. We've not really spoken, I'll be brutally honest with you. Let me know whether you think we should let him out of the doghouse or whether that's the best place for somebody like NOM. We're going to try and play, maybe 6, 7 fixtures starting our season today. Game week number 2, we have got that grudge match against Carshalton, the side that we could have taken charge of, and we've got a cheeky little half-time chat to get on with as well. But without further ado, why don't we get into the game and see exactly what we're going to be up against today. Deputy Dan, welcome in. Looking forward to stream number 2, as am I. Hopefully, I've learnt a little bit from stream number 1. I was a little bit taken by surprise, if I'm completely honest, by the number of people that arrived. It made following the chat pretty difficult for me, and since the episode has gone live on YouTube since the stream finished, it's now up to 1,800 views. There were 750 people that checked the stream out on Friday. Hopefully, we've put enough of those people off by now that it will be a little bit quieter this afternoon, but we're still welcoming people in. Neil is with us. Let's avoid second stream syndrome. Neil, come on. There's an air of inevitability about second stream syndrome. It was a Llama love-in, which sounds wrong, JM, but it was hugely appreciated, and hopefully we can kick things off today with a win in our first game. Kingstonian are going to be taking on Tunbridge Angels today, who I think, don't quote me on this, I think we're a club that Roy Hodgson played for. So that is the calibre of player that they have had down the years. Murph, always room for you, Murph. Keep right on, my friend. Great to have you here. No stress games. Fabulous. Throwing in a like. Well remembered, no stress games. Any restrictions in this save? So the restrictions are as follows. We're going to try and win all 5 of the top leagues in Europe, but starting off with no coaching badges and no qualifications at all. So we're starting right out at the bottom of the game in Tier 6 in England, and we're going to try and win all 5 of the top leagues whilst only using clubs that come from those 5 capital cities, which is why we're starting off in London, but later on we'll be taking in the likes of Munich and Rome and Madrid and Paris as well, as we make our way through these clubs. PSG, I think, is a long way off currently. Welcome in, Edwin. Great to see you as well. So we could be managing at the Parc de France one day, maybe at the Bernabeu. Today we're going to be starting off with Kingstonian against Tunbridge Angels, an opponent who the media say is a soft start for us. So you never know, we might have a chance in this first game. Let's just check out where Tunbridge are predicted to finish this season. They are right down there with us. 22nd they're predicted, 100 to 1 shots. By the way, when we took charge of Kingstonian in our debut stream, we were predicted to finish bottom, 750 to 1 shots. Look at us now, 17th. 33 to 1 for the title. We've done a little bit of transfer business. Are we ready to see the squad? I say to people who can't respond. Yes, I think we are. We've done some business, some of it good. Afternoon, Johnny. Great to have you in with us. We've made several transfers, a couple of players you will know from our trial last season. We're still going to be very, very reliant on the players that were already at the club. But we bought some new players in, some permanent, some non-contract, some on loan, some not very good in all honesty. But, beggars, and we are, definitely can't be choosers. So here's what we're thinking about for our first game. This could change after 13-14 minutes of fixture 1 as we tear this up. Taylor89 is in. Red Star Paris, one of the oldest clubs in France, it is absolutely, and a very passionate left-wing club. They did a lot for the French resistance during the war. Absolutely desperate to manage that club if we can. Aidan Pierce, afternoon. Piercy tuning in. Piercy, by the way, how odd is this? When I started teaching in my former life back in 2004, a very young Aidan Pierce was in my very first ever tutor group. And then, as an ardent Football Manager fan, YouTube recommends my channel to him over the weekend. And 10 years, 12 years? Maybe even longer, Piercy, you let me know. Since I last saw him, he's like, that's my old teacher streaming Football Manager. How the world moves on. No Stress Games picked up your channel when you were at Slavan Belupo. Looking forward to seeing you managing Croatia again. You're a Hajduk fan. Fabulous club. I mean, I would love to go and watch them one day. Will there still be videos with updates? Won't be able to make most streams. The plan is to do a season review video each time we complete one. I think they could be fairly long videos, to be honest, maybe 30-minuters, just to bring people who are perhaps new to the stream up to date with what's been going on. There will also be other videos on the channel whilst we are streaming. I'm going to take a bit of a break from Let's Play videos for a little while, just so I can get my feet under the streaming table. You never know, a month or two's time, I might even be doing a YouTube series and streaming as well. But we'll see how we get on with the streaming first of all. Edwin, I was a teacher. That is absolutely true. In fact, my main YouTube channel, actually, Edwin, is to do with education rather than Football Manager. This really is my little bit on the side. I did indeed manage Dugapolia in Mercenary. People have been asking whether Mercenary might be making a comeback, in FM23. You never know. It could do. But to Kingstonian then. Piercy, form tutor 18 years ago. Thank you for that, Piercy. Goodness me. Okay, I am far older than even I had realised. Great to have you in, Aidan. You can only imagine your busy teacher streaming. Well, anybody can stream FM if they put their mind to it. So, to Kingstonian then. Let's start in goal, shall we? And we'll show you our new recruits. You'll remember from Stream 1, those of you that were here all caught up on the vlog. Our only goalkeeper at the club was Serene Sana, wonderfully agile, 6'4", but a first touch of 1, not the best handling or command of area, so I've brought in a new goalkeeper. Now, my coaches tell me that they're not entirely sure that this goalkeeper is an upgrade. In fact, they think that Sana is the stronger goalkeeper, but I think we might have done a good bit of business here. 33-year-old Luke Purnell, a Welshman who seems to have been pottering around the West Country. He's been at Weston-super-Mare for nearly 300 league games. I think he's an upgrade on Sana. I mean, he's still got the same awful first touch of 1. The passing is likewise as low as you can go, but the agility is still strong. He is good communicator, good command of area, good aerial reach. I think, Piercy, now come on, please stop. I think a good goalkeeper. The only caveat is we're 5'9", so one of our shortest players in the entire team is going to be in sticks. But let me know down in the comments, who would your starting goalkeeper be? Is it going to be Purnell or is it going to be Sana? I'm going Purnell for this afternoon unless anybody convinces me otherwise. Now, over at left back, we showed you our first pre-season friendly in stream number 1, and I was absolutely chuffed with Andre Blackman. I thought he was going to be an absolute stunner for us. Pre-season, not gone very well for old Andre, I'm afraid. He's pulling a 6.57 average rating. He has not been good in the 4 pre-season games that he's played, so I panicked and I've brought in another left-back on loan from Leyton Orient, Harrison Soji. Give the stubby goalkeeper a thank you, Edwin. I reckon we give the stubby goalkeeper a go. I'm also going to give Harrison Soji a go as well. Physically, really like him. He's a good defensive left back. Going forward, he can cross, but the dribbling, really no. The passing, the vision, absolutely not. Off the ball movement, I don't think he's going to make a forward run all afternoon today. Tallis likes Purnell. Good. Height might be a slight issue. I think it could be right there, but good enough to do well. Let's hope you're right. So Harrison Soji is going to be left back. Cal Bartes was 5'9". Is that true? Goodness me, I did not know he was so slight of stature. Anyway, over to our right back, who we really didn't have a good option for when we left you in Stream 1. So I've recruited Kaimani Hunter, who's agreed to come in and play on a no play, no pay basis. So he's not going to cost us a penny if he's outside of the match squad. Well, I think we're playing him a couple of £100 per game. Again, physically, I like him. Going forward, we might have a little bit more to offer from Kaimani. We've got off-the-ball movement of 8 and crossing and first touch is pretty reasonable. The passing is still absolutely dire, although the vision is a little bit better. Murph, what is the next thing you're going to type, Murph? You've said, I've had Kaimani before. Tell me you took him all the way to the Champions League. That's what I'm wanting to hear. Now, our back two in the centre halves, I think you're going to recognise, because our first, Matt Richardson, was already at the club when we arrived. We played him in the pre-season friendly we showed in our first stream. He's training. FA Cup final. Please, Murph, you took Kaimani to an FA Cup, not FA Trophy now. Don't play with my emotions. The actual FA Cup, if that is the case. I'm delighted with that cheeky little pickup on a non-contract basis. He's going to be playing in defence with Matt Richardson, so he's going to be our starting centre-half. And I've also moved from central midfield Bailey Brown down to be a more aerially dominant. He was in the stands, but he was with our team still. Okay, all right, so we didn't make the matchday squad, Murph, but at least he was still with you when you were competing at that level. Bailey Brown's going to be centre-half for us today. I'm undecided whether he's going to play central midfield or centre-back during this season. I noticed he has a slight ability to play as a centre-half, which is where he's played the last 4 pre-season friendlies and done well against no opposition at all, I should point out. I did have a look at some marquee friendlies against bigger sides, but we'd have only been making about £4,000 from them, so I decided to go with slightly softer opposition just to keep the morale up. Bailey's going to play at centre-half for us, because in midfield we're going to go with the long throw specialist James Comley, who does have long throws of 13, but doesn't have a bullet throw. So I've been trading that into him during pre-season. Could be a couple of months until we see the benefits of that. I will be brutally honest, in pre-season friendlies, his long throws were a bit of a disaster. They were soft anyway. Murph, playing Prem under 21 sides made me some big cash in Tier 9. But you did get spat. All right, well, I'll show you the opposition we were playing in pre-season in a moment, Murph. It was of a not similar standard, I will be brutally honest with you. So, James Comley, we inherited him. He's now the club captain. I think a pretty sturdy option. He's not had a glittering pre-season, but he was okay. And alongside him, we've made another new signing, a veteran, no less. Lewis Hilliard, spent big, £325 a week. But this boy is a bit more crafty. He can pass a ball. He's got good vision. He can take our set pieces for us as well. He's looked all right. A goal and an assist in pre-season and a 7.5 average rating. So I think we're pretty good there. Down the wings. Oh, dear. Okay. So down the wings, we inherited absolutely nothing, but I decided I want to play a 4-4-2. I really do want to play a 4-4-2, by the way, based on a player who might be signing during today's stream. Try and remember to show you that in a moment. Down the wings on the left, I haven't signed a left winger, so I'm going to play a left back that I think I can rebrand as a left winger. This is either Raff Brown, Raffy Brown, Rafe Brown. Do you like the name Rafe? I might even go with that, even if that's not his actual name. Tell me that this player cannot make it as a winger. He had absolutely no ability to play there when we signed him. £220 a week. But I think for tier 6, he's pretty quick. He's also good in the air, so he can arrive on the back post, I hope. Maybe even get a goal or two. He has got good crossing, good passing. The work rate, the teamwork are not the worst. I think Rafe could be a left winger for us. We're going to try him out there today. And on the right wing, we've got Jimmy Mewett, who's been pottering around on the south coast, made his way to Dorking, has now signed for Kingstonian, another on a non-contract basis. Decent pace, decent dribbling, will work reasonably hard and has a bit of flair and tries the old tricks as well. So I think Jimmy is okay. And then up front, we'd already inherited Connor Lynch. And the acceleration's a little low, I'll be honest with you. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with Connor Lynch. And 8 goals in 4 pre-season games was good. So he gets his starting spot today. We've bought in a couple of strikers who could play alongside him. On loan from Notts County, we've got Diego Edwards, who is quick, but very, very frail, but knows where the back of the net is. And I like the off-the-ball movement. But we're going to start today with Lewis Salmon, who is going to work very hard. He's very determined and brave. Physically, he's pretty fit. And he's taken 3 chances in the 3 games and laid on 5 assists for teammates. So Lewis is going to get the nod today. Now let's show you that pre-season form. It's glittering. We beat Bishop Stortford 1-0. We beat Canvey Island 1-0. Scored 5 goals against Basingstoke and 5 goals against Andover. Some of the strongest clubs at a tier 7 or 8 level you're likely to find in the southeast of England. We beat them all. And after that 1-1 draw against Kettering, I'm pretty pleased with how pre-season has gone. The boys are buoyant. The other signing to update you on is that we have brought in Harun Hamid, another player that agreed to come in on a non-contract basis. He is going to be the slowest player on our team, but also incredibly aggressive. And he just stares into the distance like you already know he's coming for you. So he's going to be flitting around the matchday squad this season. Dean popped in to say hello. I hope we do enjoy the stream. If we can keep pressing the right buttons, Dean, it will be fabulous. Keep right on, my friend. Fabulous that you dropped by. Thank you very much to Dean for the visit. So that's how we're going to set up for our first game this afternoon. Before we get out there, Piercy, Hamid has got multiple red cards written all over him. You are absolutely right. Before we do get out there and play our first competitive fixture in charge, the only other thing we're going to show you is a little bit of transfer business that's still pending. And if we pull it off, I might put a little poll in the chat for you to decide. Guyad, you've liked. Thank you very much for that. I might put a little poll in the chat for you to decide which of these 2 players we're going to sign, because I don't think we're going to be able to sign both. We are going for a centre-back, an experienced one, in the shape of Dean Inman. Now, Dean's already agreed to sign. I've delayed it for a week, and he wants to come in as a player scout, and I'll tell you, he would be the best scout we have with judging player ability of 6. That would be our best, by the way. Dean, we've not taken the Ks up. You're absolutely right. You're making me say the word again, Dean, aren't you? Dafuge, I'm going with. Yeah, we've simmed a season. We're only managing clubs in Europe's top 5 leagues that are from the capitals, Dean. So we're starting out with Kingstonian, and we simmed through the first season. The hope is we might one day make it to Atletico or maybe Arsenal, maybe even, probably not PSG, but Paris FC. But we're starting with Kingstonian. Now, the reason why we have delayed Dean Inman's signing is because Nathan Blissett would also like to join the club, or at least we've offered him a contract that he was happy with, also to be a player scout on a non-contract basis. And we've only got a vacancy for one more scout. So it's either going to be Inman or Blissett. Now, Inman's already agreed to come. Blissett is still mulling over the contract that we initially shook hands on. He's going to be a 6'5" target man with jumping reach of 17, teamwork of 16, work rate of 12. The aggression for a target man, okay, not that great. If we could give him the aggression of some of our other players, he could be a blistering target man. But he's scored goals at a decent level, 13 goals in 40 games. Is Inman free? They are both free, Neil. Yeah, so they're both coming, picking them up without clubs, non-contract basis. They both want to be a scout as well as a player, but with only one scouting vacancy, only one can come. When I originally negotiated terms with Nathan Blissett during pre-season, he wanted £1,200 a week. Now that we're offering the chance to get a bit of an experience as scout, he'll just play for like £400 a game if he gets picked. So we're going to wait and see whether Nathan does agree to come. If he does, we've got to ponder whether it's going to be Dean or Nathan. Do we strengthen at the heart of the defence or with a target man? Rohil, great to see you again. Fabulous supporter of the channel and a streamer in their own right. So check out Rohil whenever he goes live if you find him. And then we've also got the possibility of bringing another Notts County loan player, Jaden Onan, who I think is pretty decent as well. I think could be a good rotation option for Lewis Hilliard, the veteran we've signed to play in midfield. Coach Sanko, welcome in. Gustavo, welcome in. Fabulous to see both of you here. Neil Bathgate, supposed to be an "Are You Being Served John Inman" reference. I missed it, Neil. I missed it. To be fair, I normally catch a 90s reference. Are You Being Served? Is that even an 80s reference? Or are we going a decade earlier than that? Wolf Tracks is in as well. Another fabulous streamer, as is Coach Sanko. You can check all these people out on Twitch when they go live. You drop them a follow, you'll get a notification when they do. The season is about to start, Wolf. We are about to play our first ever game. Eric Van Thiel, did you remember the update to the corner tactics? I have. So I have put in a little routine that's going to hopefully utilise Bailey Brown's aerial prowess, although our best corner taker is going to be Louis Hilliard, with corner taking of 10. So how often were we able to hit Bailey Brown? I'm not entirely sure, but great to see Eric in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric. We are in Texas. Is that right? Llama, what are your thoughts on Man City and their charges? I'm going to be brutally honest. I've missed any news of Man City and their charges. Aidan, you want to get Inman in, do you? What, the centre half? Okay, well, look, I think we'll wait and see whether the striker agrees to come in as well, and then we'll put a poll in the chat and we'll decide amongst ourselves. FMGNG, great to see you. Ruck. Oh, they've been done. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Man City fell foul of financial fair play 2 or 3 seasons ago and had a pending Champions League ban, I think, and then that all seemed to disappear, didn't it? So will it actually come to anything, or is it actually cast iron happening this time? And if Man City are getting pulled up for financial fair play, what on earth is happening to Chelsea in 12 months time? So over 100 charges for a breach. Okay, well, look, let's wait and see whether it actually comes to anything before we get too excited. But I am all in favour, by the way, of enforcing financial fair play, because Really, I do think that a club's wealth should be based on its support base and ability to generate commercial revenue rather than benefactors, but that's just me. Edwin, I think you're absolutely spot on. We'll play the game and we'll see whether the defence is torn to shreds or whether the attack is absolutely impotent. If it's both, Edwin, well, then we're in trouble. We're going to go to the tactical meeting and then we're going to get into our first game, people. So cross your fingers for this one. We're going to see exactly how we do. Forgive me, I am one of those people that does just auto number the squad numbers. Apologies for that. I know that infuriates some people. Mikey's in as well. Welcome in, Mikey. Demand Moore is in as well. So 100 charges over 10 years. Oh, well, just 100. That's only 10 per year. Let's average it out there. We're up against Jay Saunders today, the Tunbridge Angels boss. We're going to go with our team talk. Our home form, all of our form is going to be important in this relegation battle. So let's go with, we've got to win our home games. Now, this is the first time, by the way, that I've taken charge of a Kingstonian game and elicited any kind of response from a player after a team talk. So Luke's with me, Rafe's with me, and the strike pairing are with me. Let's go. Let's go. We are out there at home against Tunbridge Angels, and check out the little kits we are going to be wearing today, courtesy of Cal. If you can check out the video description below whilst I'm live, I've popped a link to Cal's Twitter feed in there. Whether that only manages to kick in once the video turns into a vlog after the stream ends, I'm not sure. But if you can check out Cal on Twitter, he's become a little bit of a hero creating custom kits now. The ground looks better than it does in real life. Mikey, have you been to the Kingstonian ground? Love to hear if you've actually seen them live. We've got Hilliard trying to find Bailey Brown from a corner here. Hilliard's already been booked. Brownie's up. Brownie's done what we brought Brownie to the club to do. He's got a big unhelpful hand, I would say, from the goalkeeper there, who's palmed it into his own net. But the Kingstonian era is underway. They had a man on the line and the goalkeeper covering that. Brownie has managed to nod it home, and that is our first set-piece goal. We're trying to make this team big, robust, dangerous from set plays, and we've done just that so far. So that is a better start than I would have hoped, to be honest. 3 points on this opening weekend of the season. Then we're playing one of the other newly promoted clubs in the form of Carshalton, so we could get a strong start to the season. We've already picked up 2 bookings, and Damani Hunter is one of them. We'll worry about that maybe as we get later in the game. Here goes Mewit. He's got the ball into Lynchy. I think Lynchy's hit a post, Lynchy. Old Brownie is on a 7.5 now following that goal. He could be a good source of goals, I think, as the season progresses. But Tunbridge are coming back into the game quite a bit, aren't they? Maybe this is going to be a counter-attacking goal because Lynchy has nodded it on. Raid from Stinger. I love the way Stinger has the ability to raid from Twitch over to YouTube. I'm thinking about trying to do the inverse of that later on. We might go en masse and see whether the United City FM has started his stream. Welcome in, everybody, including Ab Fab, who arrives from Stinger's Twitch stream. I think it might be Lynchy to Salmon, and we might be 2-0 up here. Lynchy has raided down the edge of the area. Look at these kits, by the way. These are the 3D kits that Cal has designed for us. We'll have a look at the 2D versions during the stream as well. You'll see a little sponsor that he's popped on there for us. Some rather jaunty two-tone socks as well, by the way. Brownie is just playing within the opposition's head rent-free at the moment. He was up at the near post again. We're 2-0 up at half-time. Jesus Games has come from Stinger too. Fabulous to have 2 of Stinger's Raiders with us this afternoon. Half-time, I never like this. We're doing well getting shots away. The Sleeping Dragon. Fabulous to... Oh, Dragoon, sorry. Fabulous to see you here as well this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I want to try and give a team talk that's not going to encourage the players to just sit back in the second half. I'm going to go with the old keep it up. Everybody's motivated by that. And we're into the second half already. I don't think Tunbridge have really turned up for this game. We've done well. Let's just pause the game for a second. I've still got pre-season friendlies on screen. Instead, we want to get the National League North up on the screen instead. We've gone straight into a highlight. It's going to be Cumley that's going to be taking it as well. It's a wide angle. We've hit the woodwork for the second time. I'm with you, Ruck. I enjoy a two-tone sock. I enjoy frivolity in kits in general. Carl Shelton are drawing their opening game 1-1. I was hoping that they might be easy pickings in game week 2. Maybe not. Look at Bailey Brown in the air, by the way. He's absolutely resplendent. Lynch is chasing down the clearance. Here's Rafe Brown. Deep cross. Mewitt's down. Salmon. We've now hit the woodwork more times than we've hit the back of the net. That's the third time. I think we're worthy of a third goal in this game. Brownie's up. There you go. My goodness. A 6'5" centre half come central midfielder with jumping reach of 17. Are you that guy that did the awesome video with Zealand on Teams to Manage? I am a guy that did a video with Zealand. Zealand was awesome. I was also there just watching Zealand be Zealand, really. But yes, we did have a little video together. It was very, very kind of Zealand to get involved. I've actually done 2 videos with Zealand now. The other one being with my second Football Manager channel called The Manager's Seat, which I, of course, run with JDFM and Stinger. We run it as a little trio, and we have a video out as we strike another goal. We have a video out at 3 PM as this stream is going to be ending. And we've got a special guest on the channel today. So be sure to check that out at 3 today. Give yourself credit, Llama. You are a great creator. Jesus Games, you're either the kindest person in the world or you've hit the drink already on a Monday afternoon. I'm doing my best, shall we say. Doing my best. It's tough making Football Manager content because... well, there are already some very big and successful creators when a lot of us already decided to enter the market. And YouTube does like to prioritise people who've already built up a following. So I guess considering how late we joined the party, we're not doing too bad. I think today we hit 7,100 subscribers. I think we're up to 26 channel members, so that's absolutely fabulous. I think we've got 18 Patreons on the channel as well, so that's absolutely superb. And you've let me wonder all the way to the 84th minute of the game before we're making any substitutions, and I think they are long overdue. We have got Hype XR Venom subscribing to the channel as well. When I first saw that pop up, I thought, how am I going to pronounce this? I think Hype XR Venom is how we're going to do it. Rafe Brown is not liking life as a left winger. Luke Holness will come on instead. Joshua Brown continues their membership. Are you an F1 fan? If so, what's your favourite corner at Monaco? Mine is Casino Square. Josh, I'm worried I'm going to make myself look very foolish here. I am no kind of car sports enthusiast whatsoever. I used to watch a little bit in the 80s. I quite like Nigel Mansell. He used to live near where I grew up, but I've not really watched any F1 since then. I have walked the Monaco circuit, but only because I was lost whilst in Monte Carlo. So I'm going to say my favourite corner is also Casino Square because that is now the only corner that I know. I'm also absolutely enthralled that people have favourite corners of racing circuits. You're going to have to educate me into what makes a good corner, what makes one corner better than another. Try to shut them out with 0 shots on target. Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Certainly would be a good debut for Purnell in goal. The back four in general apart from Sodje, have played pretty well this afternoon. Bailey Brown has been absolutely epic. If you don't pick up at least 4 bookings in the 6th tier, well, we're going to get docked points, Cal, I think, aren't we? But, okay, so we're not keeping them at 0 shots on target this afternoon. There is a goal for them. Never mind. Saint Devotees. Cal, you've got a favourite corner of a racetrack as well. Fabulous stuff. Fabulous. Yeah, I'm afraid that is going to be a bit of a blot on our defensive copybook this afternoon, isn't it? Never mind. Never mind. 4-1 is still a good result. We are going up, JM. We might be calling that a little bit early. They've now had 2 shots on target during that game. But we have got a decent opening day of the season beneath us there, haven't we? Well done, lads. That was a good win for us. Now, hopefully, maybe not in time for the Carshalton game, because that's a midweeker. I think that's coming around pretty fast on Tuesday. But maybe by the next weekend game, we might have that dilemma about whether we're going to bring in Nathan Blissett or Dean Inman. So we'll make that call shortly. I guess the defence and the strikers looked pretty good in that game, so I'm not sure how that's going to help us. You kids are all talking about your favourite corners of racetracks now. Go on, you work away on that. Let's, forgive me, I'm going to skip the old match conference here because they do get a little bit repetitive for me. That's a good win up against Tunbridge Angels. Then we should probably also show you the backroom staff as well, because we had nothing when we arrived. By the way, just remembered that I don't think I've got a physio yet, and I'm not sure I've even advertised that position. So let's get into the old staff. We don't have a physio. Okay, let's place an advert for that. That's a bit of an oversight on my part. Gone through all of pre-season without one. So anybody that's picked up a knock in pre-season is getting absolutely just left to their own devices. They just toss them the medical kit and see how they get on. Right, this is our backroom staff. We have got an assistant manager, David Karanka. I don't know whether this is going to be the brother or relation of former Birmingham and Middlesbrough boss Aitor Karanka, who I think had a long old stint as Jose's assistant. Well, this might be his younger brother. He's come in as assistant manager. We've got Ken Martin in as our head performance analyst. Only 21 years old, Ken, but hopefully he knows his stuff. Who needs a physio? Llama has been on a first aid course at some point. Do you know what? I have been on first aid courses. I'm not sure whether that will help me if anybody gets an ACL injury. Chris Plummer has come in as a coach, defensive-minded coach. Pretty pleased with him. Then the other person that we've brought in is Joel Hannington, who's going to be more of a fitness coach, trying to sort of improve the physical aspects of the boys. Too old to grow up. Look, I've got that now. Too old to grow up. Rub some dirt on it. Absolutely. Just grab a handful of gravel and massage it into the wound. Absolutely spot on. We're just 2 days from the Carshalton game. They're 10th in the league. That looks like they might have picked up a draw on their opening game of the season. So maybe that's not the easy game that I thought it was going to be. Let's see whether we can give them the same kind of bruising encounter that we've just given Tunbridge Angels. I thought that this was going to be an easy game. I'm not entirely sure that it's going to be now. You don't need a physio. Hire a local kid to drive them to... We could do that. We could do that. Local kid with a driving license, but we could do it. So, what have we got going on here? Absolutely nothing of note. We've still got the scouts out and about, by the way. They're scouting League One clubs for potential loan signings at the moment, including, forgive me, McDon's. Do we bring in a McDon player if there is one available on loan? I don't know. Do we make any changes from match day 1, by the way? Absolutely we do. Do we make any changes? Sodge didn't have a great game. Did he get a 6.6 in the last game? He did. Right, well, let's go. Let's go with Blackman for this game instead then. And Sodge can drop down to the bench. And if we do just need a little bit of bite, Let's get Hamid onto the bench. Harron with that aggression of 15. It's got to be worth having on the bench at least, hasn't it? Got to be worth having on the bench. And let's get out there and take on Kingstonian. Are you kids still chatting about circuits? Oh dear. Eventually, we're going to have to steer the chat back onto a topic that I have the slightest idea about. Lawn tennis, anybody? Athletics? No? You still want to carry on talking about scale extrics? Okay. MK Dons. Oh, Alexander. MK Dons aren't that bad. Milton Keynes is not that bad. I don't live far from Milton Keynes. It's a very lovely town. Not a huge fan of how MK Dons picked their position in the league a little. I reckon if MK Dons had started out as a tier 10 club, given the size of their catchment area and the backing they had through Pete Winkleman, they'd probably be in the same division right now as when they took over Wimbledon's position in the league, I think. Is that too ambitious to say? Absolutely Fabregas. MK are the devil. Not the town. Town is absolutely fine. Ruck is, what, in a 4th tier South Korean save? That sounds like a bit of an adventure. We're back to the players not responding to my team talks. We are away at Kingstonian. This is the team we could have taken charge of, by the way, but you chose Kingstonian. So this makes this a bit of a grudge match for me.
And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
So let's try and prove that we made the right decision picking the K's over Kingstonian, shall we? And let's see whether our front pairing can continue to have as good a game. Piercy, you're an absolute gent for dropping by. You go and carry on with your work, young man. Fabulous to catch up with you. We've given the ball away inside the 2nd minute, and we've let Kingstonian in behind our back line. Okay, and this is the reality check, isn't it? I thought Tunbridge would be a tough game, and then we would roll Kingstonian over. No, absolutely not. Joshua Brown, they are the core, the new Teachy. That's going back a little bit, isn't it, Joshua Brown? That's Border Adventures references there. Cool, we're going way back. Were you along for the Borders Adventures a ride, 3 years ago, or have you caught that up since with a bit of a binge? Fabulous reference, by the way. Fabulous reference. Teachy, of course, turned me down as their manager in my first ever YouTube save of Football Manager. They didn't look back. We took over another Polish team instead. We've given them a shout of demand more. And we're in our away kits today. We're in a jaunty little yellow number, which is nice. Richardson's got the ball at the back, out to Blackman, who has a point to prove, having been dropped from the starting 11 for match day 1. Rafe tries to get a ball into the box, and he doesn't. We're beaten in the air. We've won it back through Hilliard. He's got it through to the Salmon. And the Salmon is, if he's onside, has got us back on level terms. And he is onside. We're back in the game on the 30-minute mark. I'm quite liking our front duo, by the way. We've got one who is a little quicker and plays that advanced forward role. And then we've got the Salmon, who is incredibly hard-working, but does have pretty decent off-the-ball movement as well, by the way. And he's used that off-the-ball movement there because he's ghosted in unmarked, taken it on his chest, then hit the volley past the keeper. And we're back on level terms. 4 shots apiece, 3 on target apiece. It's an even game that we almost go back behind. On the MK starting point, AFC Wimbledon roosed through the league pretty rapidly, so MK could eat. You're absolutely right, of course. MK went down to tier 9. Sorry, AFC Wimbledon went down to tier 9, tier 10 perhaps. JM thoughts, AFC Wimbledon fan was in earlier. Been with them since the very early days. That's not been a hugely impressive first half, I would say. Do we say it's time to dig deep, or do we say... No, I'm going to say I'm far from pleased. That's fired them up a little. We might need Harron to come on in the second half with that aggression. Maybe try and liven people up a little bit. Connor Salmon... It's not Connor Salmon's brother, is it? Connor Salmon's Scottish. Didn't Connor Salmon spell his name S-A-M-M-O-N? Think? We've got all the way through to 65 minutes. We've got Meli Ozakici. That sounds like that could be a Turkish name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you very much for the sub. We got Connor Lynch not playing well this afternoon. Let's get Diego Edwards on early then, because Diego has got a little bit of pace. Rafe Brown is an experiment that is not working down that left-hand flank. Let's get Harun Hamid on to see whether he can get himself sent off. I've only given him 25 minutes to do it. I thought Connor was... You could well be right, actually. Connor may well be Irish. Good spot. Good spot. I think Connor Salmon played in Scotland. Is that right? This game's drifting from us a little. We've not played well today. Opening day of the season, we were great. Today, not so good. We've got the ball in the midfield. Mewit's picked it up. We can confirm Connor Salmon was Irish, capped a couple of times. Here goes his cousin, and he has rifled it past. Lewis, 2 for the afternoon. Look at that off-the-ball movement again from Lewis. That was a nifty little bit of drift he's got there. Look at the big man at the back. Plays it into midfield. Hilliard, that's why he's in there as the creative player. It's a good finish, isn't it? It's a good finish. Sean Hammond has just jumped in. You are witnessing our second game of the season with Kingstonian, Sean. We won our first one 3-0. We played Tunbridge Angels. 4-1, sorry. 4-1. We played Tunbridge Angels and played very well. We went a goal down in this game to Carshalton. But we're now in the lead and they've brought down the big man, I think, from the corner. Bailey Brown was trying to run through, and Salmon, I've not turned that thing off where you let players on a hat-trick take the penalty. It's not cost me on this occasion. Should know better than that. That's a day one of pre-season error, not unticking that little box. When your centre-half like Bailey Brown is on a hat-trick, you don't want him lumbering up for a penalty, do we? 25 million, at least 25 million Cal, I think. The way Chelsea throw the money around. Have I just missed a goal by Bales as well? As he nodded home his third in 2 games. Look how tall he is compared to Lewis Hilliard running off to celebrate, by the way. Bailey Brown has nodded home another. These near post corners, well, they're made for Brownie, aren't they? Junior, you've watched most of the Save Idea videos, even though you don't have a game. You're from Northern Ireland. You're a Newry fan. Nice background. How come you've begun streaming? Have I just missed another goal? Has Brownie just scored another, by the way? Edwin's telling me that he did. Is it a carbon copy? It's a carbon copy. If that proves to be too powerful a weapon, I think we might ditch that and try and vary our corners up a little bit, because I don't like using near post corners if they're overpowered. I didn't know that they were. I've been playing FM23 for a few months now, and I've not had great success from set pieces. Maybe it's just a Bailey Brown thing. That was a good performance. How come I started streaming then, Junior? It's a good question, really. Just fancied trying it out. I've delayed it longer than most other YouTubers, I think. But I thought it might be a nice alternative or accompaniment to making some videos. So I thought I'd try it out. They aren't. You just have a good player versus bad teams. Thank you, Ruck. Thank you very much for that. It's not an exploit, says JM. Keep them on. Fabregas, short corners. I've never had... I don't think I've ever scored a goal since I was managing Indonesia's national team from a short corner. Hamid made his professional debut. How did he do? He got a 6.8. Did he get booked? He didn't. Disappointing from Harun Hamid. That, I say, is going to be a pretty decent start to the season. We're 2 games in. We've won 4-1 and 5-1. Not too bad. If it does fit with the schedule, Junior, that's the thing. How did Hamid do? So 6.8, but no booking. So that drags it down to a 6.6. We're definitely going to try and get through at least 3 more games during this stream, I think. But before we do, let's just pull it over to the chat screen for a second, because as we approach the midway point of the stream, I thought it might be a nice idea if we get something for the chat to give me their ideas about, because this is as much about chatting Talking Football Manager, and Grand Prix as well, apparently, as it is the Football Manager that's going on in the background. So I watched a couple of games over the weekend. One I watched the highlights of, and one I actually watched the game over on one of the sports channels. And there were two players that stuck out for me who really have struggled to find a club to settle into throughout their careers. But now that they found it, they are in blistering form. I watched Atalanta play Sassuolo at the weekend, and I heard the stat that Ademola Lookman is the third highest scoring Englishman in any of Europe's top 5 leagues. Lookman, who didn't really get a chance at Everton, went on loan to Leipzig and then didn't really settle there. Didn't really spend that long at Charlton when they were a youngster. Not enough time to certainly be very productive. But now they're at Atalanta, they seem to be performing superbly. And in England's Championship at Middlesbrough, Chuba Akpom has been all around. I think last season they were at PAOK in Greece's Premier Division. They're now at Middlesbrough and they are having a fabulous time as well. So what I was thinking today, what other players can we think of that just need to find the right club and then they will be unstoppable too? So let me know your ideas. Are there other Ademola Lookmans and Chuba Akpoms out there, players that if they could just settle in at a club, find a manager that believes in them, you know what? They could either be not necessarily a goal scorer, it could be a midfielder, it could be a goalkeeper. Let's not talk, Cal, I'm sorry, because Akpom, he scored twice and it was against Blackpool, wasn't it? Was that Mick's first game in charge, or has Mick McCarthy already had a couple? You're going to have to let me know how he's been getting on, by the way. Nicholas Anelka bounced around a little bit. You're absolutely right. Would we say that maybe Anelka found some good form, maybe at Arsenal before he ended up at Chelsea? Depay for you. Didn't really cut it at Man United, Edwin. I think lots of players have struggled for game time at Barcelona. So that could be another good shout as well. You're absolutely right. Joe Linton. We have any Brazilians in, by the way? I think we did have some Brazilians with us on Friday. If they could phonetically spell out how we pronounce, I think in England people say Joe Linton. That can't be right. It's more like Joe Ellington, isn't it? Damari Gray. Look, we know all about Damari Gray, the football team that I support, by the way. He came through at Birmingham City and is another in a long line of players that we have flogged as teenagers, including Nathan Redmond, who is now at Besiktas, I think, with Dele Alli. And, of course, a little Bellingham. Good pronunciation there. Mike, of course, Portuguese speaker. João Ellington. Thank you very much. Alexander Dolberg is really good for that. Is that Casper Dolberg? I know he was at Nice a couple of seasons ago. Is he still there? Oh, FMGNG. Aaron Connolly. Is that Brighton, I think? Aaron Connolly made a bit of a breakthrough in the Premier League and then kind of went quiet a little bit. Don't flog the teenagers. You're absolutely right, Rook. We should not be flogging teenagers. Ian Acho, maybe. Ian Acho's another good shout. And Bolo. Is Mbolo now starting to pick things up a little bit, Cal, at Monaco? Maybe starting to find a little bit more game time. Sterling, bit of an enigma. Yeah, I think Sterling, though, has probably got enough medals in the cabinet. Josh Sargent over at Norwich. Absolutely fabulous. Ruben Colwell. One for us. You're going to have to tell me who us is, Fab. Am I right that it's Swansea City, or have I just made something up there? We got Masuako. We got Donny van der Beek. Is Donny van der Beek still at Everton? And if so, how come Donny van der Beek can't get games at Everton? Gasperini has taken Atalanta to serious heights from where they were. Very under. Is Gasperini underrated, or is the secret out on Gasperini? Is the secret out? Pulisic is going to turn it around. Pulisic has had, 3, maybe even 4 years now at Chelsea and has never really got a consistent, as far as I'm aware, run of games. I don't remember Pulisic ever getting a full half a season. Kachinga Silumbe, Patson Daka, absolutely right. And Patson Daka is now just about starting to edge Vardy out of the starting lineup for the Foxes, I think. So I would expect Patson Daka to come good. Ousmane Dembele, if he could stay fit. Pulisic has legs made of Weetabix. Well, it's a talent that he's even made it that far. Greeno Eats is with us. Welcome in, Greeno. J. Emmanuel Thomas did not make the most of their talents. Greeno, tell us where J. Emmanuel Thomas is now. We've got to get back into the game very shortly. But we've got a couple more minutes where we could throw some more ideas in. Any other players that we can think of that maybe if they could just find the right club, you never know, they might be able to have a career that might just kick in. Keep them coming in the chat. Ruben Noble Lazarus is another good shout. Certainly a player who much was expected of and hasn't quite gone on to the things that we perhaps thought that they would do. What else have we got? So we got Emmanuel Thomas was at Aberdeen. Zaha, 3-run homer. What another good shout. Roberto Soldado is in there. Another shout for Pulisic. Junior is going for Vallejo. Gaika Mendieta. Is it ever too late for Gaika Mendieta to make a comeback? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Gaika Mendieta, I'm pretty sure, still lives up on the north coast, I think. Demand more. J. Emmanuel Thomas was rubbish. Fabio Silva at Wolves. Bojan. Is Bojan still playing? Where did Bojan go after Stoke? Anyway, we need to get back into the game, I think. And we also need to put a poll in the chat because the time has come for us to make a decision. Blissett has decided that he would like to come and play for Kingstonian as well as being a scout. And Inman has come back a week later and said, well, he's quite willing to come and be a player/scout. So let's just remind you what we're up against here. We've got a 6'5" target man, although the front two that we have started pretty well. Or we've got a 32-year-old experienced centre-back, jumping reach of 15, although he's only 5'11", but looks pretty solid. The composure and the decisions are not great, but would offer a little bit of leadership back there, some good positioning, some marking, another auxiliary long throw taker as well. At the moment, it looks like we are on 86% for Inman. 82% now for Inman. 80. I think we're going to probably go for Dean Inman by the looks of things. We're not keen on the target man. If Neil's still there, I know Neil will have voted for Nathan Blissett. A 6'5" and jumping reach of 17. This surprises me. Surprises me that we're going defensively. We're going to give another 30 seconds for the poll. Get your votes in. And then we're going to sign what could hopefully be in time for our next game, I think. At 76%, I think that's pretty much a done deal, isn't it? We'll end the poll there. We're going to go for it then. So unfortunately, we're going to say no to Nathan Blissett. Although if we delay it in a week's time, we can always ask the board if we can have an extra scout. I don't think they'll go for it because this will be our third scout. But let's get Dean Inman in then. So that is decided. Dean Inman joins the club. Let's get some training on the go for Dean. Wants to be a no-nonsense centre-back, but we're going to ask you to do a bit more than that, son. And we'll get a Aducci to help you settle in. Fabulous. And we're 24 hours until the game against Dartford, who are third in the league as things stand. we've got ourselves a new centre-half. Harrison Sodge is training well. Serene Sana is not. Goodness me. At least we've got the lowest training ratings out of the 4s, by the way. We were having some in the 4s. Back to the grind for JM Thoughts. Lunch break is over. Fabulous that you popped by. Bojan's playing in Japan for Vissel Kobe. Okay. You do need a better second centre-back. What, somebody to play alongside Bailey, you're thinking, Rook, are you? No-nonsense centre-back is a code for just pass to the other team. Too old. Could well be. Could well be. I like to not ask them to be ball-playing defenders in Tier 6, but I do like to ask them to be central defenders where possibly. Andrew Thomas, love the vids. Keep up the good work. You are too kind. We're working on another vid at the moment, actually, Andrew. Another Save Ideas video. I'm thinking of turning the best save ever into a little series with a different theme each time. So this time I'm working on a little theme for 3 suggestions for clubs that all fit into the same kind of category. And will give me 4 or 5 days and it might just be out. Where is Inman? We're going to get Inman onto the bench for Clarkey. Now, are we going to throw Inman straight into the starting lineup? The Save Ideas vids are legendary. You're too kind, Too Old. By the way, Too Old, if I'm not too old to be streaming, then you're not too old to be doing anything there. Good in the air, can play in a couple of positions. Could push up into midfield at a push. I reckon we're going to give Dean a game. How has Richardson played? We're going to drop Richardson on a 7.25. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it because I want to see what Inman has to offer. And it's terrible. It's not my fault, which would be good. The league lowdowns are a lot of work to produce, though, Cal. They really are. And there is another channel that have just started ripping them off now as well, which has sapped my enthusiasm for them a little bit, which is why I thought I'd move on to some other Save Ideas videos. Love the new Rants manager and how he became manager just from playing Football Manager. Yes. Grew up in Belgium, I think, didn't he? And used Football Manager as a way of making their break into the game. And there's increasing numbers of examples out there now, so you never know. Maybe the call could come. What's going on here? Oh no, he's trying to get me to take over the... I don't want to take over the under-18s. I'm not in the slightest bit interested in that. How do we get out of managing the under-18s? Let's backpedal. Let's go to staff, responsibilities, handles the... I don't want to handle the team selection. Let's delegate that. In fact, anything to do with the under-18s. No, I want to do their contracts. What about match day stuff? Where's that? Handles touchline instructions for the under-18s. Don't want to do that. Leads friendly matches. I don't want to do that. Team talks. Don't want to do that. Apologies for that. God, one horrible minute. I was nearly in charge of Kingstonian's under-18s. Could not be less interested in that. RDF has been involved in teams in real life too. You're absolutely right. I think he was doing some data analytics for, I'm going to say, Cheltenham Town Ladies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who would have the audacity? Yeah, who would demand more, eh? Who would do that? Just sap your enthusiasm. I mean, it's all fair game, isn't it? Loads of people make content that's similar to other people's. It's not like my Let's Plays are always the most original of ideas. So it happens, I guess. It happens. But it does mean that you want to try and find something new and different to do, because we're always looking to try and innovate in videos if we can. So hopefully these best save evers might prove popular. The first one, it's only been out about 3 weeks and it's already got 10,000 views, which for my channel is pretty encouraging. So hopefully people will like them. And it allows me to do a little bit more creative work, because I do like putting together little video montages for Save Idea video, really trying to get the atmosphere and the story behind the club. So hopefully people will like them. We are at home this afternoon. We're playing Dartford off the back of 2 pretty good performances so far. Although we did fall behind in our first game, but that's going to help, isn't it? Look at that for a horror scissor tackle from Billy Brooks, no less. Have I put on any opposition instructions? I have, Edwin. I have. I'll wait for us to go a goal down, and then I shall show them to you. I set up my opposition instructions on day one, and then it applies them to whatever opponents we have during the season. Blackman's on the ball here. He's fed it to Raf Brown, who we're looking for an awful lot more from, because I don't think he's going to be cut out for a left winger like I hoped. We don't really have very many options in that position. We got a little through ball. Here's the Salmon. God, the ball is like a magnet to the back of the net when Salmon is playing. Fabulous performance. Wolf Tracks, FM players getting involved with real clubs. Next thing you're going to tell me that someone ends up as a game announcer in some place like Weymouth. Wolf Tracks, you're living in a fantasy world. That would never happen. Never happen at all. Tom Lennox loves the music. I feel like we're playing FM in a swanky hotel lobby. It's got that elevator vibe, hasn't it, Tom? Fabulous stuff. 10 men. Time to crank up the goal difference, or let them back into the game, as we very nearly did. Robbie Dunn's in. Good to see you, Robbie Dunn. God, we keep on welcoming new people to the stream, don't we? Fabulous that hour and 5 minutes in, people are dropping by. Hilliard's on the free kick. This has got into the wall written all over it. No, into the net written all over it. 25 minutes in, we are 2-0 up. Yeah, fabulous that people are just finding this stream as a little place they can drop into on an afternoon. I do see it more as a little bit of a chat room, really, rather than just being focused on FM. Lots of people working from home, lots of people on their lunch breaks, maybe people not working at all. It's nice to get a whole group of people that all like Football Manager and just hang out together for a few hours a week, shoot the breeze, talk football and Grand Prix. Moza made a team in FM. Absolutely. That is, oh God, I'm going to have to try and pronounce that. Tallybooley St Surfs. If anybody's Scottish in there, they're going to have to help me out with what Moza's team is called. What do you make of Mark White? You might play against him in the Surrey Cup. I've not come across Mark White yet. Ruck, it's morning/evening for me. Ruck, where in the world are you for it to be morning/evening? Are you Tullybody St Sandsurfs? Wolf, you're a gent. Thank you very much. Ruck, you're going to have to tell me where in the world you are for it to be that late at night. Are you in Australia? Tullybody St Surfs. What a project that is by Moza, by the way. If I was to ever win the lottery, which is a long shot because I don't play the lottery, but if I were to ever win it, I would love to establish my own football club. Very small level. I'm not even thinking like tier 10, tier 11, anything like that. Primarily a junior football club. I would quite like to buy my son's football club and just build them awesome facilities that kids could benefit from, you know, like a 5G Astro, indoor facilities, a gym for parents while the kids are at training. And I'd like to hire, you know, like a UEFA qualified coach just to coach kids, but do it from, I don't know, say 4 till 6 for the youngsters every day, maybe 6 till 8 for the teens every day. Time for subs, Edwin. You're absolutely right. You're on East Coast. But you work from 11 p.m, so I live on an inverted time zone. Ruck, you're going to have to tell me where on the East Coast of the US you are living. Apologies if I asked you that on Friday and you let me know. Always interested where on the East Coast people are. Connor Lynch is playing poorly again. And am I right? That's for the second game running. Lynchy is not doing as well as he did in pre-season. I'm going to say it. What else have we got? We brought Blackman into the team. He's got himself booked. And a 6.4. That is disappointing. Near DC, Rook. As is Wolf Tracks, by the way. Good to have a couple of DC or near DC people in the chat. We're going to make that change again. We're going to bring Harrison Sodge on. Let's see whether that can see out the game. Most of the time you see parents just sitting in the car while the children... Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't it be nice if we could have a gym? Maybe like a restaurant, smoothie bar, somewhere nice where parents could chat, socialise, while kids are getting real kind of professional quality training. The team my kids play for, by the way, it's only like a small village side. I just love to build on fabulous facilities, but it would hinge on me winning the lottery. And as previously stated, I don't play it, so Mozza is actually doing it in real life. He's actually getting his hands dirty where I just talk in hypotheticals. That's why Mozza is one of the greatest out there as we let the 10 men of Dartford back into the game with 2 minutes of stoppage time to play. Let's have a little think about this. Let's go narrower. Bring the tempo down. I put the time wasting on. I'm a bit worried we might gift this to the opposition. Tony Jameson, it's Llama streaming. The very same Llama, Tony Jameson. You beautiful individual, you. Everybody listens to Tony Jameson's fabulous Football Manager podcast, the Football Manager Show. And everybody, of course, watches Tony stream on Twitch multiple evenings per week. But if you somehow have found yourself in a YouTube bubble for the previous 3 years and didn't know of Tony Jameson's fabulous work, well, head over to Twitch. Tony will tell us the days of the week that he streams here, but for my money, it's becoming more and more evenings per week, Tony. Around about 9 o'clock UK time every evening, he goes live. And is probably, well, if not my favourite streamer right now, certainly joint first, and is, of course, the host of the FM playoffs. Now, the path to the playoffs is live tonight with Jebaru as host, and then when we get down to the finals, after we've had the qualifications and the path to the playoffs, Tony will be hosting them, and hopefully he's going to have a good panel with him calling the plays. Believe I met Llama in Demand More streams. Talis, is that true? That's going back a little bit now. And we are trying to coax Demand More back onto the streaming circuit. He's got a newborn child there. So he's busy on parental duties, but we are hoping that by FM24 Demand More will be streaming again. Craig is in. Welcome in, McFly Shaw. Green 08, you'll be able to build those facilities for your kids' team using your sorry, Green, I couldn't get that through that without giggling there. Using your YouTube dollars. Both of my YouTube dollars. Yeah, maybe we'll call that plan B/C, I think, Greeno. Tell Demand More to put the kid in a sling and wear them and get on with streaming. I know, I keep trying to coax him out. We'd love to get him to do a video or two for the manager's seat as well, because he's one of the most beautiful individuals you will see streaming or creating content north or south of that particular border. How is Jonathan Edmonds doing as well? Still asking daft questions. Edwin, I'm still only attracting 2 journalists to every press conference. Jonathan, unfortunately, is one of them. I rue the day he quit professional triple jumping and became a sports journalist in London. There we go. Jonathan's there. I'm going to leave my assistant to go and speak Spanish to Jonathan. Junior, do I support a particular team? Oh, Junior. Yes, I do. And it's not a good one, I'm afraid. And you can blame my parents and grandparents for that. I'm a Birmingham City... I hesitate to say supporter, really, because the club is in absolute turmoil. Has some very unscrupulous owners at the helm, so I don't like to actually support them if I can, because I feel like I'm directly lining their pockets. But that is at least the team that I've grown up following. We are about to play Maidenhead United. Let's take a pause from this barrage of games. Let's have a look at the table here first of all, because this is a little bit of a surprise. We are top of it with 9 points. We are going to be playing a Maidenhead side who are, rooted to the foot of the table. Okay, how have they been performing so far? Not well. Not well at all. Could always be worse, Llama. Do you know what, Cal? I like supporting a team that struggles, because if they ever sort it out, like they did for one afternoon at Wembley in 2011, 2012, it doesn't half feel good, you know. I guess if you support a big team, you kind of become a little bit more accustomed to success. You'll know this when Holloway took Blackpool to Wembley for that playoff final. That must have been the sweetest moment. You must have been a very young pup back in those days, Cal, but it doesn't half feel good when you're not expecting it, doesn't it? We're going to make some changes to our side, by the way, today. We're going to be playing bottom of the table. Sojay is going to come back in for Blackman. He's not performed. We're going to bring Harun Hamid in for Mewett here. By the way, I'm also waiting for a player to come from Notts County on loan. And that's not happened. He must have turned us down, I think. Most people support teams who aren't successful. I guess only, 3 teams per season can be successful. What else we got? Edwin, you're an absolute legend for jumping in. Talking of legends, Leodamus is here. Great to see you. 316 over in Hank. Good that you finished your work meetings for the day. Just taken over Birmingham 4 years into a save, having started with Aberystwyth. They've just been relegated to League 2. Art imitating life, I think. Did you spot Bournemouth signing Darren Randolph recently? I tell you, good goalkeeper for us. Back up at West Ham for many years. And he conceded 8 against Bournemouth, did he, when we played them? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. Great to have Leodamus with him, by the way. The fact that this stream happens at all, by the way, is pretty much entirely due to one man, and it's not me. It's Leodamus, who patiently sits the other end of Discord and answers my very, very rookie questions about streaming, and he does a wonderful job of it. Just noticed Lewis Hilliard struggling for fitness a little bit as well. Have we got a midfielder we could bring into the team? We've got Ajuchi, who's meant to be our best player, who's back fit after an injury he picked up in pre-season. He's coming onto the bench. And let's get Holness into the midfield and rest Lewis Hilliard. Now, we're making a couple of changes to a side that's won 3 on the bounce. Maybe that could be an error. Let's see how we get on. You know, someone who's a Scunthorpe fan, Junior, who didn't want to give any money to the previous owner, but they've just had a great takeover. Scunthorpe, are they struggling towards the foot of the conference? I can't remember last seeing the table there. Rook's assistant manager keeps suggesting using greyed out players over your actual players. That is a kick in the chops, Rook, for your actual players, isn't it just? We're not going to give that over to the assistant. What are we going to say? On a good run, go out and impress me. There we go. That's what we want from the players. Let's kick it off. Fabulous stuff. The numbers, by the way, I've just checked out the numbers for today's stream. They are incredible again. I thought when we started on Friday, I might get 10 to 20 people in. We had 750 here on Friday. At some points, we had over 100 in. We're on about 50 at the moment. We've had more than 300 people dropping by this afternoon. Unbelievable support. We've got a free kick, and this first half has really whizzed by, hasn't it? Against a team who are bottom of the table. Maybe we're playing a little bit too defensively against a team that's bottom of the table. Bailey Brown's still pulling a 7. That seems to be standard, of course. Callum is absolutely right. We need to check out Leodamus's Football Manager content. He's on a hiatus from making content now, Leodamus. He's still the best editor in the business, though. Show me a Football Manager editor that is better than Leodamus, and I will call you a fibber, because he's absolutely superb and is only just getting started with the editing, I think. Wait until he starts... until he starts using After Effects in there, there's going to be no stopping him. And we're about to go a goal down to the bottom of the table side. We've let them into this game, haven't we? Bottom of the table teams do shut up shop. Absolutely. Release the salmon. Turn him into a wild salmon rather than a farmed one, according to Wolf. Talis, the local team near me, have a new owner, and recently switching results and confidence has been amazing. Second half of the season for the Gills. You're down in Kent there, are you, Talis? A scally oh, goodness me. What has just happened there? Tell me that wasn't Bailey Brown that's just been out-jumped. Your jumping reach is 17, Bales. Has Paul Scally finally left Gillingham then? He's been chairman at Gillingham for, what, 30-odd years? What's happened here? Nah, it's not Bales. Bales let it gone over his head there. It's the player behind him. It's Inman on his debut, who's cost us a goal against the bottom club. He's on a 6.2 now, Inman. It's not his debut, is it? It's his second game, but still. Poor. Here is Hamid. I made changes to rest people because we're playing the bottom side. And that might have been a mistake. Lynchy is not firing, is he? The salmon is performing. Lynchy is not. What a poor first half. We're going to thrash the arms. You've been absolutely terrible. What do we do about this little dilemma then? How's Rafe Brown playing? 6.4 again. Holness, Hoare. And I don't have a central midfielder on the bench because I wanted to give Lewis Hilliard a rest. Let's start making some changes. Richardson comes on for Holness. Holness goes off for Bailey Brown. Bailey Brown moves into midfield. Bales is going to sit. And Conley is going to play the more supporting role. And we're going to bring on a Aducci for Brown, who's going to go forward as an inside forward on support. And we are going to try and push the opposition or press the opposition a little higher up the pitch. In fact, we're going to try and get about them a little bit more. The jaunty little yellow number, Cam, is absolutely delicious. One of my favourite kit colour combinations is like a royal blue and yellow. It's an absolute feast for the senses. Finally, a struggle. Llama is... Yeah, well, we've done pretty well in our first 3 games, haven't we, Eric? And then we come against bottom of the season. And we're playing poorly. And we're going to tell the players that right at the start of the first half. Since they've brought in some excellent names, Jacket and Hassenthaler, plus some solid additions. Hassenthaler cannot be back at Gillingham. That'd be like the 48th time Hassenthaler's been involved with Gillingham, wouldn't it? We got to the 66th minute and it's still not working, is it? So let's go positive. Let's get Hamid further up the pitch. Let's get Diego Edwards on. How's Hamid playing? 6.5. I'm going to ask Diego Edwards to come on and be a winger. That's not going to please his parent club. But we're slipping to defeat against bottom of the table here. And that is not good at all. We're going to go full attacking here. Back of head of recruitment, is he? He's a good old boy. Didn't he go and have a spell in non-league? Wasn't he at, was he at Dartford for a while or Dover for a while? Good to see him in. Lynchy. I think have I left Lynchy on the pitch or did I take Lynchy off? I've left Lynchy on the pitch. And he snuck through and just nodded past the Maidenhead keeper. Maidenhead, I believe, were in the Conference National last season and have been relegated. So they must have something about them. But we've made very hard work of getting an equaliser here. And now we've got 10 minutes to try and find a winner. So I think we're going to throw out an encourage shout. Ask the players to press on and try and find another goal. Here we go. We've got players at the back post. But I guess now that I've been moving people's positions around, Bailey Brown probably wasn't one of them. Ricardo Fuller's coming forward. Good neck muscles indeed, Junior. You're absolutely right. And we're actually under the cosh again, aren't we? We've got absolutely nothing in the left-back slot. Purnell saves us and then walks 4 yards back, almost gives away a corner. Not sure we've even seen the highlight yet. Lynchy's up. Here is Aducci, the Spanish player who's meant to be the best at the club, picked up an injury in our second pre-season game, was out for 6 weeks, and he's now only just coming back to fitness. But I think Ajucci could be another important player for us, possibly out wide or up front. So we're trying to get some minutes into his legs. We've got Inman at the near post doing absolutely nothing. He was free, Neil, if you're still there, he was free, but was unable to do anything with the ball. Greeno Maidenhead were managed by Alan Devonshire. You remember him as a Cavalier lookalike flying winger. Met him at the Weymouth game. There's nothing wrong with being a chubby, bald old man, Greeno. I don't know what you're suggesting. Oh, we just found a winner here while being distracted by Greeno's Weymouth comments. No, it's been chalked off. I think we had a goal disallowed. Never mind. We've edged the match stats on that game, but couldn't find a breakthrough. And that tells me that if we try and rotate the squad at all, it's not going to work very well. We've got a reasonable starting 11 and we've got very little else. So, 4 games down, 10 points. Well, that's a triumph, first of all. We've given Maidenhead their first point of the season, but that was still a good performance. I think we need to take a little bit of a break from rattling through the games, though. And let's have a little look at the scouting. First of all, I'm still interested in Nathan Blissett, if they'll let us have another scout. Does Ajucci have a face gaffer? No, he's silhouetted, Ajucci. And I haven't gone looking for faces as of yet. I did for Diego Edwards when we brought him in, but I haven't done it for Ajucci. So that's on the to-do list. Anyway, let's get back into the scouting. What have we got recommended for us? We've got 58 players to have a look through. Ephraim Lisk is a goalkeeper, and I'm not looking for those right now. Devon Kelly Evans. Did you used to play for Kettering, or was that your brother Dion? It's your brother Dion that used to play for Kettering, but he was one heck of a right back. It is your brother, isn't it? There he is, Dion, who is at Accrington Stanley playing league football now. Good player. Good player. I'd like to sign Dion. Do I want to sign Devon? As a winger with pace that runs through the centre. That's an odd little player trait. Maybe I'll give you a trial. Do you like your pace? He is quick, Talis. You're absolutely right. He is quick. Mason Terry. John Terry's goalkeeping son. I'm not after a goalkeeper. Mackenzie, by the way. Big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. Not a great footballer. Jack Myatt. No, you're not what we're looking for here, are you? Ruben Marshall. Ruben Jaunty. No, not what we're looking for. Morgan Owen. No. Jesse Starkey. He has one on sorted out. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Everyone would take this as stream 2. TJ, you're far too kind. You know I've learnt from some of the best. My bar is low, Tony. It really is. I'm thrilled that I pressed the buttons in the right order to come live. I really did. Big fan of that. He's not a bad goalkeeper though, is he? Maybe not for this season, but interesting. I'm not seeing... Do you know what? There's probably a better way of doing this, isn't there? How do I get to the overview? Let's have a look by position. I'm after either a very quick striker like Tralucas. Good picture. Oh my goodness, I do like this player. Dribbling, finishing, off the ball, flair. Stamina and strength. Okay, not great. Very consistent. What level are you playing at with Nuneaton? Have you recently signed for Nuneaton? Are you on trial? Are you involved in football at all? If not, what would you want to do? I am heavily involved in football as a parent of 3 kids that play football. That is as much as I have time for right now. The series videos are great fun, but being able to see the drama live just adds an extra edge. I don't think we've even got started on the drama yet, Talis. Llama's bar for streaming is more like one that serves pints instead of one we can hop over. Yes, that's absolutely true. Absolutely true. I like Tra Lucas. I'm also interested in people. Is that Trey Lucas? It can't be Trey Lucas, can it? This guy is in Zealand Save. He's very good. What? Trey Lucas is in Zealand Save? Give me the thumbs up if that's the case. He looks like a nice player to me. Can we approach to sign him? He's padlocked that we're going to improve the training facilities. I can't improve the training facilities. There's not going to be money for that. So after 3 months, this player is going to throw his toys out of the pram. But if he's already banged in a few goals by that time, I'll take it. He wants bonuses if he gets goals. Now, look, I'm going to show you a little bit behind the curtain here. I'm keen for people to play on as low wages as possible, but I have a little theory, which is completely unfounded, by the way, that if you pump up the goal bonuses, it might make them more hungry to meet those targets. And so it might get them through any little poor spells of form when they've gone a while without a goal. So I'm going to pump up the bonuses and lower the old wages. I'm going to bring you down to 275. We both know this is happening for 275. By the way, again, phonetic in the chat if you can. How is Zealand pronouncing Tra Lucas? Is it Tra or Trey? We've agreed a deal with him. We just need to hope that nobody else jumps in. He seems to be having a trial at Nuneaton. Do like the look of that. James Taylor. Is James Taylor a musician? That's not a bad midfielder either, is it? Bravery of 3 puts me off. Trey. Thank you, Jeremy. Trey it is. Fabulous. He could be a good player. Good enough for Zealand. More than good enough for me, I would say. I'm going to gut. You're looking at this player and I think he's pretty good, but I don't like players with bravery as 3. I see them as a bit of a waste of time, especially when they're looking to play in the centre of the park. If it's a promise, if you fail it, normally they get pretty annoyed. Yeah, I think if I'm top of the table, would he complain? In real life, Wolf, no. But in FM23, it doesn't seem to take a lot for people to throw their toys out of the pram. Hello, stand by your bunks, everybody. Stand by your bunks. Charlie Farr. There's already a bid in for young Charles. Boreham Wood and Eastbourne. Hang on one second. Charlie Farr could just be the best winger come fullback we would have at the club. I'm going to make a cheeky little offer for Charlie Farr here as well. We can untick these because they're not padlocked. Give me 220 quid a week, Charlie. 525, Charles. I can't do that. He is good, though. He is good. Will you come for 350 quid if I give you another 220 every time you play? No, you're not budging here, are you? 425, Charlie. 450. Let's shake on it. I'm not sure I'm going to go through with that, by the way. That is an awful lot of money. Alice, in real life, sadly, players seem to be very uppity in FM23, don't they? Played in the wrong loan position, they get annoyed. Don't build the facilities that they ask for, they get annoyed. And there's no talking them down. There's absolutely nothing you can do. No, Kobe Brooks. I think those could be 2 good additions if we could get them in. I think with Zealand Saves, he's got a couple who are on the edge due to promises. Yeah, okay, keep the wingback winger for a season and then sell him for a profit. Selling people at this level is tricky because nobody has any money to buy them. So we'd have to develop them to a stage, I guess, where league clubs would come sniffing around. Not out of the question. I've not had huge success at selling players on at this level. It's more like you release them to get them off the wage budget when you don't need them any longer and you go hunting for more frees. I would certainly like to take some money in. We've got £16,000, hence why we're not building any new facilities. Currently, offers made. Oh, no. Slough. and Haventon Waterlooville. They're in for Trey. We're not going to get him, are we? Now, do we try and show Trey the money here? I'm going to pause and see whether anybody has any comments for us. Do we try and show Trey the money? Change his contract offer. I bartered him down to 275 a week. I think Trey could be a goal scorer. Do I tickle that up to 325, 350 to try and give us a better chance of getting him? It's a quandary. Wolf Tracks is saying 350. That's the number I've got in my head, Wolf. I think we do it, don't we? Talis is tempted to try 350. I reckon if we tickle that up to 350 and he still decides to go somewhere else, well, we can say at least we tried. We can say at least we gave it a good bash. If we don't get him at 350, well, come on, we're playing tier 6 football. We can't pay too many of our players high wages. Otherwise, we're going to hemorrhage cash. And if we are here for season 2 or a season 3, we're going to be in all kinds of trouble and relying on the board pumping money in to keep us afloat. We've got Gosport Borough. If Greeno is still there, are we getting close to your neck of the woods with Gosport? Is that still too close to Hampshire, Greeno? Sean's telling us that Trey will score goals. I think you're right. Hold on one tiny second. Nathan Blissett, it's saying we can accept. And what's going to happen there? Is he just going to make us a 4th scout? Do we bring in the big man? Or do we not need him now that we've got the salmon working so well? Am I starting to bring in too many players too fast, do you think? Lewis Salmon has hit 5 goals in 4 Vanarama National League South games. He's a completely different player. He's 5'9" and jumping reach of 6, whereas Blissett is 6'5" and jumping reach of 17. Do I want another striker at the club? Salmon's the man. Oliver Lester's in. Good to see you, Oliver. Gosport is 75 minutes drive. Would the big man be a good partner for the salmon? I do see the salmon more as that withdrawn role. Off the ball movement of 14. The pace isn't great. The dribbling is not good at all. But the off the ball movement suggests that maybe we could. Wolf, you're going to have to stop talking sense here, because I'm going to start signing more players here. Lynchy is not performing, although he has got 2 in 4 and an average rating of 7.4. So I guess Lynch is more blowing hot or cold, isn't he? He's gone 8.8, 7.7 and backed it up with a 6.5 and a 6.6. I definitely do see Lynchy as more of the advanced forward poachery type role, even though his off the ball movement's not as good. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe the salmon, I clicked on Lynch again. Maybe the salmon could be that advanced forward role. Sign the big man and keep Lynchy on the bench. Okay. Well, I guess the good thing with the big man is he's coming in on a non-contract basis. If he starts getting unhappy, we can just bomb him out. We don't have to pay him any compensation. And if that helps keep morale in the squad good, let's go for it. Now, I'm hoping that this is not going to release Inman by hiring another player scout. I hope that's going to work all right. It seems to have gone through. Seems to have gone all right. Aducci, welcome in. Thank you very much. Training, we're going to get you going as a target forward. I like the look of this player. Do you know, when I put this in the poll, I was convinced that you lot were going to go for Nathan Blissett. I didn't think you would pick Inman. Either way, Inman has now played 2 games and is on a 6.65. He's got a 6.9 and a 6.4. Thanks for him, by the way. Maybe he's just taking a bit of time to get his feet under the table. I think if we could bring in Trey as well, that gives us 5 good strikers at the club. I'm not expecting Diego Edwards to spend the entire season with us, by the way, even though he's signed a loan deal to the end of the season, because Notts County are not going to be happy that he's on the bench. Jesse Marsh, rumoured to be gone from Leeds, FMGNG. They're struggling. They lost. Am I making things up? Did they lose to Brighton at the weekend? Does Inman want to play as a stopper or a cover? You could well be right. Could well be right. Maybe we need to experiment with that. Farr looks like he wants to sign. We've got physios to come. And do you know what? I'm going to continue the advert, and I think I'll hire physios off camera. And we'll have a good look at who might be the best to bring in. Charlie Farr, I'm quite excited about, because could play as a right back that can't tackle but can really bomb on. I also think looks pretty good as a winger as well. What are we? £450 a week on Charlie Farr. What's the finances looking like? Committed spending. Oh, we're going to be very, very close to our top budget. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to say after Trey, if Trey comes, I think the store is going to be closed. That is a good signing, though, I think. Pretty happy with that as a right winger. I think that could be a good supply line, especially when we get the big man up top. Okay, we've got Gosport Borough today, and the changes I made for our last game I want to reverse. So let's get Lewis Hilliard back into the midfield. We need a right winger to come in. How did Jimmy Mewett do in his early games? 1 assist in 3 games is not bad. But I am tempted to give a debut to Charlie Farr for today's game. Farr instead of Hamid, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I bought this player in purely because he made an assist during our pre-season friendly, and he has aggression of 15 and is incredibly slow. We can release him at any time. Blissett, I think we get on the bench for Diego Edwards. And I'm going to give Inman another game, although I'd like to see something above a 7 in this one. And what are we going to do? Are we going to keep Lynchy in? How did Lynchy do in his last game? He got the equaliser with that little header, didn't we? We're going to keep Lynchy in, but we might see Nathan Blissett from the bench, I think. Let's get the team going. We'll auto number those. What's this then? This looks like game 5 of the season. We're rattling through them already. Might even have time for game 6 during today's stream as well. Let's see how we get on against Gosport Borough. We are the home team. We're going to be in our red and white strikes. Cal has done the Lord's work, I would say, designing these kits, 2D and 3D. They look superb. Here is our right back Hunter. Can we get it out to Farr? Where is he? He's not where he should have been. Lynchy's in. Thought about making a challenge, didn't. Brownie. So dominant in the air, Bailey Brown. Player of the save so far, Bailey Brown. Putting it out there, although his goals have dried up a little bit. Here is Rafe Brown, his cousin. Probably no relation at all. There's Bales again, every time. This is our left back going over onto the... Oh no, he's not. He's our left winger going over onto the right wing. Here's Farr. That's a delicious ball in. Lynch. Oh, look at Farr. Oh, we like him already, don't we? Lynchy likes him already. Can you imagine Brown and Blissett on the pitch for corners? Don't, Wolf. Don't. If we don't score from set pieces, they don't really count, do they? But look at Lynchy. It's a delicious deep cross from Farr. He's got an assist. What? 2 minutes and 44 seconds into his debut. And now, here is Bales. Get involved, son. There he is. He is just an absolute weapon, I think. Still thinking about toning this down. I don't want to survive relegation or whisper it quietly, even get into the playoffs by profiting from near post corners. Not seen any of our long throws yet, by the way. Have you noticed? Lynch heard about you. Yeah, I think you're right, Wolf. Lynch heard that he could be being dropped. Now the Salmon's down to a 6.8 though. Come on, I'd like to see both of our strikers have a good game on the same afternoon. And then we can bring on Blissett. There's Inman. That's a bit more of a domineering performance from him. Here's Far drifting in field. Here is Lynchy. It's Far again. He looks to get involved, doesn't he? He makes the play. Hilliard. Here is the Salmon. He's brought down, isn't he? Surely, ref. There's no VAR at this level. We're going to the spot. I have set the penalty takers, but I can't remember who it is. It's Lynchy. It's Lynchy. Oh, he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way with that as well. He sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. We are 3-0 up with 25 minutes played and we are looking good. Welcome in, Mattia, by the way. Welcome in. Good to see people still dropping in during the stream. Oh, that was a close effort. That was a close effort. By the way, my computer is telling me that it is sunny and 3 degrees outside. It is cold, but the weather is beautiful here. Give me weather updates from wherever you are in the world. I'd imagine if you're east coast of America, it might still be a little frosty. Tell me where else you are in the world and what the weather is like. As Lynchy bagged a hat-trick here, we need to threaten him with the bench more often, don't we? Lynchy is absolutely up for this game. Hilliard, by the way, I love him in central midfield. He just runs the show. Central midfielder on support. One of my favourite roles. Is that Far that's put the ball across again? As soon as the scouts recommended him and I clicked on him, I thought we might have a player. Straight away, you know. Lynchy just needed the delivery. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. 52 Fahrenheit. And it's cloudy. 52 Fahrenheit. What's that in old money then? That's got to be single digits though, right? Celsius, I mean. Single digits Celsius. Inman is playing much better today, isn't he? 7.0. Here's the Salmon. Are you going to tee up your mate? Lynchy. Oh, Hilliard. Oh, we've cracked the woodwork there. Cracked the woodwork. Junior's got grey skies. Too old. It's chilly but warming up. McFly. Chesterfield. It's cold. Sunny too. It's nice. You're not a million miles from me, McFly, up in Chesterfield. Maybe an hour away. The Sleeping Dragons in Derbyshire. Oh, Mattia. 11. What are you doing to us, Mattia? What do you mean you're in Bologna? 11 degrees in Bologna. We'd all like to be in Bologna. Mattia, tell us who you support, please. Are you a fan of Bologna? And do you get to go to games? And if you do, I'm going to be shrouded in jealousy, I'm afraid. Wolf, temperature not bad. Damp wind. Greeno, it's got to be beautiful down there, isn't it? Greeno's in his vineyard. Eric, we're down in Texas. You had a really cold spell over Christmas down in Texas, didn't you, Eric? Didn't you have snow in Texas? How's that even possible? How's that even possible? I have relatives, Eric, not too far from Dallas, and I'm sure they told us that it snowed. We're 4-0 up in this game. I think we're going to be taking Salmon off and bringing on the target forward. What do you think? Mattia, you are an AC Milan fan. I was out last night, Mattia, but it was the derby, wasn't it? Did Internazionale beat Milan in the derby? You're originally from Milan. Let's go, Carney. Belgium is cold, but very sunny. Good for the extra vitamin D. All about the vitamin D. FM23 is an island. I thought the weather would be quite nice in Ireland. I would imagine Ireland to be sunnier than over here in England. I don't know why I think that. I always think of Ireland being sunny. Yeah, bad evening. I thought, was it 1-0 to Internazionale? My sons watched the game and I'm sure they told me that Internazionale won. Snows in Dallas. Houston is much further south. Hilliard plays it forward. Lynchy is absolutely rabid this afternoon. We're hunting down our fifth, and I think we're going to make some substitutions in a minute. Kim Ji Ho for Gosport has got South Thomas through. He's blazed it wide. Time to make some tactical changes. Deputy Dan, welcome in. 4 degrees and rain in Newfoundland. What's the time zone for Newfoundland? Is that 5 hours behind UK? Callum Hayes, crispier than a bag of Walkers. Imagine it would be. Okay, I'm going to take Lewis Salmon off. He's untouchable, Lewis Salmon, for me, but I want to see what Nathan Blissett can do. Whenever I bring on Nathan Blissett, I want you to be as a target forward on support. So let's go for that. And I think this left wing experiment really isn't working, is it? Let's go for Ajucci for the final part of the game. 3.5 hours behind. Okay, 3.5 hours. Sounds like a beautiful place to live, though. I may well be in Canada during the summer, although only just over the border, only in Toronto. Thousand Islands, but very much looking forward to that. I've never been to Canada in my life, although I've been all over America, never been north of the border. We've got 13 shots, 7 on target, an XG above a 2 and a 4-0 victory. We can treat ourselves to a late substitution. Who else needs an appearance just to stop them potentially picking up an injury? 26 of Feb, it's Anderlecht versus Standard. No matter the temperature, then it will get hot. I'm guessing you're an Anderlecht fan. Going to be in Toronto. Send a note to Old Lady Place. She's near Hamilton in Ontario. Is that right, Wolf? Have I made that up? Deputy Dan is originally from Ontario. Spent a lot of time there in Toronto. As the weeks and months pass, Dan, if you are in this stream, you're going to have to start drip feeding me tourist attractions in Toronto. Got the CN Tower, got the aquarium. I've got Something's Market. Nice in the summer, but we'll pass on the winters there. Lived just south of Hamilton for 4 years. So just south of Hamilton's got to be getting pretty close, Rook, to... Getting pretty close to the border, hasn't it? Pretty close to Niagara. Not Viagra, to Niagara, I should say. Well done, lads. That was a good win for us. And we've got 8 minutes left of the stream. I think we might be able to get through one more game in that time, because I think we're on a good run of form. And you know what happens when you save and turn the computer off when you're on a good run of form? You come back and you are going to be poor. We're playing Farnborough, who are 15th. We're hurtling our way towards that game. Medieval Times is a fun night out. Tell me, Deputy Dan, what is this? One of these kind of like jousting type things? I know they have those in New Jersey. Is that it? Have I completely made that up? You have to tell me. You have to tell me. Always looking for things to do. I have 3 children that I am road tripping around America and southern parts of Canada with, and they have to be busy every minute of every day, otherwise we will know about it. We're going to try and get to an MLS game, although when we're there during the summer, the MLS is taking a bit of a hiatus. Michael Clark's not himself. Come on, sort it out for us. Okay. Yeah, the MLS is taking a bit of a hiatus because there's a new cup competition coming in. Well, where MLS teams are taking on Liga MX teams. And that's going to be taking place whilst we are over on your side of the Atlantic. So I am hoping that we might be able to get to a Red Bulls game or a Toronto FC game or a Philadelphia Union game. That's not too far from where I'll be. That could be good. Toronto Blue Jays are fun. Yeah, so it depends whether the Blue Jays are on the road or at home. I'm sorry, but we're 5-6 games into the season and you're not playing. That's just tough, I'm afraid. Yeah, if Blue Jays are at home, that could be a good shout because their stadium, that's right downtown in Toronto, isn't it? Like, not far from the CN Tower, so that could be fabulous. Sounds like a great trip. No, Mattia, I'm taking 3 children. Probably won't be a great trip at all. Saw a Montreal game. Fantastic atmosphere, Mike. Poor football, though. I've seen Montreal play when they had Drogba against the Red Bulls. And I'm not a Red Bulls fan. They stole my club from me, but they did put on a great atmosphere. DM has been to a Blue Jays game. I've been to see the Yankees play, but I've not been to see the Blue Jays. New York Red Bulls signed Dante Van Zier from... hang on, let's go, Connie. From Union Saint-Gilloise. Saint-Gilloise. I think I said the same thing twice. Union Saint-Gilloise. Maybe you can get to see Insigne. Is Insigne at Toronto now? That would be good. I've got 5 minutes left and we need to play a game here, don't we? We're going to stick with Salmon and Lynchy. I'm tempted to bring Blissett into the side just because he's tall. Mattia plays for Toronto. Insigne left Napoli a season or two earlier than I thought. I'm sure there was another Italian player that went and played for Toronto. Very short striker. Name escapes me. What are we going to say? Go and play your natural game, boys. Lynchy liked that. This is going to be the final game of the stream. We are unbeaten so far in our first 6 games. I thought this could be a relegation campaign. It might be a little bit better. Giovinco, you're right, Mattia. Am I right that Giovinco was very slight of stature? Shall we say that? We're in our red and white shirts for this game as well. Hunter gets up, heads it clear. We're looking to see what Farr does on his second appearance, by the way. Most of my time in Toronto at gigs, pubs and clubs. I won't be doing that with the 3 kids. You will not be surprised to know. Tyrese Onyeka has set up Gifford. Farnborough are a goal up early again. What else have we got here? Toronto Zoo is good, but not interesting if it's too hot. I'm honestly thinking that we will find Toronto pleasantly cool, having been in New Jersey beforehand. Steve Nicol was the coach. Done a lot out in America, hasn't he, Steve Nicol? Is he still working as a pundit out there? He's called the Atomic Ant, Giovinco. 5 feet 3 inches. I thought he was quite slight of stature. We've had 1 shot this entire game, and it's not been on target. And Rafe Brown has to hack one clear. We're not doing very well in this game, are we? Let's demand more. This is the second game of the season where we've looked a little bit flat. Invincible seasons, Sean Hammond is calling it. We might be going a little early on that, Sean. We're going to have to find an equaliser in this game. Here's Job. Not our Job, different Job. And the ball's gone all the way back to Sodja. How is Sodja getting on, by the way? Because he didn't perform well early on. Lynchy has got him behind the defence. He's got absolutely no support at all. He's held it up. Tried to play it in. There's nothing doing. Hilliard's on the ball now. I like this player. He's a schemer. Here's Rafe Brown. We'd love to see something from him. We have, and Farr's in. Couple of assists on his debut. He snuck in at the back post, and we've seen Rafe Brown. Raffy? We've seen Raffy Brown finally get involved. I think he could be a winger given his attributes. But he's had a very slow start to this season, but he's drilled one across the box. There's Farr on the far post. And we've pulled it back to a 1-1 scoreline that we probably don't really deserve. We're going to say that that's not being good enough. Lewis Hilliard doesn't like that and isn't playing well. A tad soon, Sean. Only a tad. It's a 46-game season I think we're going to get through here. If we keep it below 10 defeats, I think we'll be in the playoffs. Inman fires it up the field. Lynchy rises, wins a header, knocks it on to nobody. Salmon's not playing well again, is he? But since we've signed the target man, Salmon has gone off the boil. There's Bailey Brown, though. He is always on the simmer. Here's Salmon now. He's been booked, so I think we're going to make a change on 60 minutes and bring the big man on. Lynchy, he's wriggled in. He's had a good effort. He sent it wide, and I think he was offside. The new signings are looking good. This right winger really does look the business. I think Bailey Brown heads a header wide of the post. Inman, though, not doing the business. He's just pulled from a 6.4 to a 6.5 and gone back down again. 60 minutes on the clock. Changes to make, I think. We're going to bring Richardson on for Inman. We're going to bring Blissett on for the Salmon. It's not changing to a target forward because I did it in game before rather than doing it out of the game. Who's struggling for fitness as well? Comley, though we don't have great options on the bench. Let's demand a little bit more of the players as we try and search for a winning goal in the final 25 minutes of the game. It's 6 shots apiece. We're now up to 8. Hilliard's on a free kick. He's hit the woodwork again. You can give individual talks to a player. Absolutely. Turn red morale to green. Did he have red morale when I brought him on? Goodness me. Dropped the ball there, didn't I? We're going to make one final change. Let's have a look what's happening out wide. We've got Rafi Brown, 7 point. They're both playing well. Comley less so, but we don't really have a central midfield option unless... No, let's not chase the game. Let's not chase the game. We're at 1-1 against Farnborough. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What we might just do is... we'll nudge it up to positive. That's the only change we'll make. We've got 10 minutes plus stoppage time to try and find a winning goal. We're racing through, though. We're racing through. We're not really finding the chances. We've got 1 to go. This should be a proper one. We've got 30 seconds of injury time played. We've got 2.5 to go. Leslie Smith, good old Leslie, has fired it forward. Get up, Bailey. He has done. Here's Rafi Brown. Not in a hurry, but he's got the ball to bliss it. Here's the big... oh, goodness me. Didn't show a lot of strength there, did he? And Comley, this is a highlight where Comley gets himself sent off. All right, and now we're looking from trying to search for a winner in stoppage time to trying to make sure we don't concede one in stoppage time. Let's try and narrow things up. Can the target man go back and play in defence? Absolutely not, no. Lynchy, can you drop into midfield? Not according to this, but I reckon you probably can if we do that. Hilliard's going to have to be the more defensive. We'll play it up to the big man. We're going to go to cautious. We're going to waste all the time in the world now. And let's see if we can escape from this final game with a point. We've got seconds to play. I think we're going to do it. Got a little fortunate, I think. We were not unlucky tonight. That was just poor, I think. Let's have a look at the table. We are 3rd in the league. We've played 6 games during this stream. We've gone unbeaten. We've won 4 of them. We've drawn 2. I'm going to say that is a far more successful start than I thought we were actually going to have. But what has also been a success, I think, is we've got through stream number 2 without pressing any wrong buttons, without accidentally ending the stream, and we've also had a rather lovely little chat with some fabulous people. We're looking good on the pitch, but I have to be honest, I'm rather enjoying hanging out with you all in the chat at the same time. We're going to throw this stream onto the channel as a video so that other people can go and watch it as well. If you want to join us for the next instalment, we'll be live on Wednesday at 1 p.m. UK. That's going to be 8 a.m. if you're on the east coast of America. That's going to be an hour later, 2 p.m. if you're in Central Europe. Thank you to everybody that stopped by. I'm going to head over to Twitch now and see whether Kev or the United City FM is firing up his stream. And I would love to see more of you back here on Wednesday, where we're going to be carrying on life over at Kingstonian, where things have been pretty good so far. I'll see you all on